Hi, you're watching Professor Plays, and today I'm continuing my Factorio tutorial series. I was running a little low on copper in the base, so this is the copper mine that was up here next to oil. So there's my oil pickup, and across from oil pickup I put a copper station, copper load station, and there's copper ore going into the load station for copper, and there's a train, of course, that is delivering copper. There it is right there. Train delivering copper down here to the unload all station. And right now it's going into two additional smelters, or two smelters. I had one. Now I set up a second one to get a little bit more copper. As the game progresses, you will find that it is copper that you are running short on. In the early game, it was always iron plate. We never had enough iron plate. And the more we get into the game, the more and more copper gets used. So we'll need to expand this more. So I did that, and where am I at? I'm right here. I set up a chemical science build. That's the blue one. It requires sulfur. So here's a build that makes sulfur. The sulfur is created in a chemical plant. You feed in petroleum gas and water, and it creates sulfur. I'm putting that out on the center belt there. Goes down here onto the bus, and then let me get out of map view. There we go. And then the chemical science requires 1 sulfur, 3 advanced circuits, and 2 engine units. So we just saw the sulfur. And the advanced circuits, I built those. I think I was showing you that the other day. They're over here. That's the advanced circuit build. It is not all populated, but it's making enough to demonstrate. This build that I put together, well, let me show you. Advanced circuits requires 2 plastic bar, 4 copper cable, and 2 electronic circuits. I used to put the electronic circuits on the bus, a separate build that made them, and I've since moved a lot of that to the local part of the factory wherever they're needed. So I'm creating or building the electronic circuits here locally for the advanced circuits to use. A little, again, it looks like a dinosaur. The little symbol there says this machine is wanting some productivity module 1s in there is what it's complaining about. I'll throw some in there in just a moment. Do I have any of those? I think I picked up some. I did pick up some. So it wants some of those. I'm just going to do a control click, and it has to be on. It can't be on the little dinosaur symbol. It doesn't want you to control click there. It wants you to control click. Can't control click there. I want you to control click down here. There you go. It works without it, obviously, but that just makes the ratios a little better between copper cable and iron plate and green circuits, or electronic circuits rather. So there are the electronic circuits. The plastic is coming up through here. That's sharing. The plastic and electronic circuits share a belt. The long-handed inserters pick up from that belt the plastic and electronic circuits. And then they also want some copper cable, and these 2 machines down here are making copper cable and placing them on the outside or the left side of this belt. So copper side loaded, copper plate is side loaded onto the inside of that belt, which leaves room on the outside of that belt for copper cable. That goes up through there, and these machines then are picking up the items they want to make advanced circuits, and then the advanced circuits are placed out here onto the center belt. And it goes up here about to this point, and then it needs a recharge on the copper cable. It can't supply any more than that. Those 2 earlier copper cable machines would run out of juice. So it just does it again, makes more copper cable, and then it repeats up through there. I don't have all these populated yet. I just put that down there, started making some. So, and it's only half. There's machines over there, but only the inserters on this side. Okay, so that is advanced, and then I'm buffering the advanced circuits, just pulling them off the belt and putting them into a chest on each side, and then they're picked up. Put this inserter takes it out of the chest, puts it on the ground. This inserter picks it up off the ground, puts it back on the belt, just to give it a little buffer there. And there's the advanced circuits. So when this is not flowing, if it's stopped for any reason, the advanced circuits are still being built and placed into those chests. It goes both directions here because one of the earlier builds that I put down here was wanting advanced circuits, and now they are being sent down to that store. It only needs to go down here and build these items right here. My earlier design for this, if you have one of the older prints, these 3 machines here were making speed module 1s. I have since modified it, and I'm testing it. I'm not sure I want to keep it this way yet, but I modified this first machine to make the productivity module 1, because I want those in my labs, and in one of my electronic circuit builds I want those. So I just put a chest and put those productivity ones in a chest, and then these 2 machines are making speed ones, and those aren't even being used yet. They are used here in this machine. I don't have the research yet for the assembly machine 3. I can't make those yet. Anyway, that's what those are for. But I also use those. That's why they're in a chest in some places in the factory. And one of those places where I use those is over here where chemical science is made. For example, right here, I already put a couple in there, a couple speed module 1s. The pipe production, this machine that makes pipes, it's all backed up right now, so nothing's running. But if everything's running at full tilt, this one machine is not quite fast enough to make all the pipe that's necessary. So I throw a couple speed module 1s in there, and then it's more than fast enough with those speed module 1s in that machine. So let's take a look at this. This is chemical science, which is the blue one. It wants 1 sulfur, and you get 2 chemical science packs per recipe. It wants 1 sulfur, 3 advanced circuits, and 2 engine units. So sulfur and advanced circuits are coming off the bus. And this is the way I do get things off the bus. If I want 2 items on 1 belt, I just put a splitter, grab one of the items, put it onto one side of the belt, and on the other side of that belt, just grab the next item off the bus and feed it up there and side load it so that both items are on that one belt, like that. And then they're placed into the machines by these inserters. And then over here, this machine is the one that wanted the speed modules. It makes the pipe. Here it needs iron plate. In fact, both of these need iron plate. Pipe on this side, gear on this side. So it picks up a plate, makes a pipe. This one picks up a plate and makes a gear. Remember, the inserters place items on the opposite side of the belt. So this inserter is placing the gear on the right, and this inserter is placing the pipe on the left. And they go up through there. And then they're used by these machines, which requires steel, gear, and pipe to make an engine unit. So gear and pipe are on that belt, and steel is on this belt. I'm side loading. It's a full belt of steel coming up here, and I'm side loading steel onto this belt. Not for that I need the other side of the belt for anything. I just don't want a bunch of steel backing up there. Steel is kind of hard to come by in the early game. If you want to use that as just a place to go grab a bunch of steel in the early game, you don't need to side load. You can just load directly, and then there'll be a bunch of steel backed up there. It's whatever you want to do. I could do the side loading down here in this place on my bus if I wanted to. So instead of doing it what I was doing up there, I could just do a side load down here like that. And now that's side loaded down here. So there's lots of ways to do it. And like I say, it's not even necessary. If you want to use that as a place to buffer steel on that belt, you can do that as well. So whatever you want to do. These engine units produce in 10 seconds. The chemical science build has a cycle time, a crafting time of 24 seconds, and it wants 2 engine units. So it wants 1 engine unit every 12 seconds. And like I said, this one produces in 10 seconds. So it's fast enough to produce an engine unit. In fact, it's a little bit faster than it needs to be, but I went ahead and did a direct insertion anyway. So a direct insertion is when you use an inserter and you get the item from one machine and directly insert it into the next machine. So I'm doing that with the engine units. The engine unit, this inserter here, this long-handed inserter right here, takes the engine unit out of there, puts it into the machine to make the chemical science. Is there extra capacity here that I'm wasting? Yes, I don't care. So you could, if you wanted to, you could output these engine units onto a belt, and then you wouldn't need as many engine unit, and as you wouldn't need as many machines making engine units, perhaps. Or you could box up the extras. Have extra. This would make extra engine units. If you put them onto a belt, you could take them off the belt, put them into the machine to make the science, and then at the end of the belt, you would have extras that you could box up. So there's lots of ways to do it. I just did a direct insertion. of the engine units into the machines. And then the science is placed onto this belt, the chemical science, and it goes down here, and down here, and down here, and down here, and down here. It goes onto this belt. And then I side load the chemical science onto the belt that had military science. So now that belt has 2 science packs on it, which is taking it down here to the labs. So now I can do research now that requires these 4 sciences: military science, chemical science, or the 2 that we had earlier, the red and the green. So I want to figure out what to research. What I would generally recommend is advanced oil processing first, using chemical science. That only has a cost of 75. That's going to be very fast to do that. And then I guess it depends on the type of map that you're playing, what you have need of. So all of these items here that have beige backgrounds, we can research. These down here have other prereqs that, well, the advanced oil processing was the prereq for these 2. And then the ones that are red, we don't have the prereq for that yet. So for example, I would like construction robotics. So construction robotics is red. If I click on it, it'll pull up the research tree. Here's construction robotics, and I can see what I need to get there. So I just put advanced oil processing in the queue. I need to get these others researched as well. So maybe if I want construction robotics, I would do that, and that. Maybe there's biters really close, and I need to go take care of some biters. There is somewhere in here, there's a tank. Oh yeah, that's very good for taking care of biters. So if I click on the tank, there's the research tree I need to get to the tank. In fact, it's very close. I just need military 3, and then I can do tank. And this is, if you hover over it, it says that has a cost of 100 of those science packs, 30 seconds each cycle, and then the tank is 250. So that's not bad. Maybe you want to do that. So you would just, whichever, and you can add the items to your research queue from this tree. I'm just holding down shift. So let's say I want tank. I'm just holding down shift, and I'm going to click on military 3, and it adds it to the queue. And now you see this one's enabled. I'm going to click on tank, and it adds that to the queue. So now I'm going to research tank. And then maybe you want to go back to looking at construction robots or robotics. Where'd you go? Construction robotics. Right here. Construction robotics is here. And so I need, advanced oil processing, it's in the queue. And then I need lubricant, electric engines, robotics, and then construction robotics. So now I have those items queued up, and they'll do the research. And just verify again that I have all that science, and I do. And then press T. Now the research will start. Just a reminder again, if you're playing single player, when you press T and go to this research queue, the game is paused. If you're playing multiplayer, the game is not paused. So be careful. The biters might give you a little surprise if you're playing multiplayer. Let's see, what else did I do between episodes? I'm trying to remember. I fully populated the stores down here. I think, those that have recipes in them. I hooked up everything I need to the stores. So that was my hardware store. This is the logistics store, which makes the train stuff, the rails and things, locomotives, fluid cargo wagons. Some things haven't been researched yet, so they're not in there. What else did I do? And I already showed the copper mine that I added with the load for the train up there, and it's bringing it down. That's oil. It's bringing the copper down here, and I ran the copper ore over here to these 2 additional smelters. That's going on to the bus now. So now we have a little bit more copper on the bus. Oh, and then in the map view, see the icons here? You can see what the recipes are. That's one of the buttons up here. If you see where I'm pointing on the toolbar, so right here, it's a recipe icons button. So you can kind of see when you're in map view, I like that. You can see what's being produced in your factory. So I think that's that's all I've done since the last episode. So now I'm going to let that research run, and when I get the ability to make a tank, Well, I have gone. I think I did not. I think I went out and took out some more biter bases off camera. I forget where it was. Maybe up here because there's a couple worms still there. Yeah, the pollution cloud was getting a little bit close for comfort, so I drove my car out there and took out those biter bases. But once that tank is researched and I get the tank, then I'll show you. We can go out there with the tank and we'll clear out some more biters. Oh, and I'm running low on coal. Yeah, see how weak that is on that belt right there? It's really weak. And I think, yeah, it's even weak coming in there. So I need to bring in some coal by train. There's coal there with a biter base next to it. I'll want the tank to clear that out. There's also, it's a tiny little coal patch, but look at that. It's 2.7 million. That's got to be a pretty, oh, there's a tiny part there too. That's got to be a pretty dense coal patch. Oh, and another thing I did is I put a couple radars out here. Yeah, so I could, now, when you're mining resources that are next to water, it's difficult to get all that stuff right where the water is. So you want some landfill so that you can landfill along that edge to get your mining drills on there. And, oh, have I researched landfill? I don't remember. Yes, I did. So here it's under logistics. Is where where landfill is. And what I do on my base, you need stone to make landfill. So I generally put a little machine right here in this store, like right there. And the reason I put it there is because there's stone required to make rail. And so I say you can make, you can make some landfill for me right there. And then will you fit it there? Oh, you won't fit in there. See if I can make this a little bit tighter fit here. If you made landfill for me, right here, if you made landfill for me, and you grab stone out of there, and you put the landfill over there, like that. You don't have power anyway, yeah, so you can put landfill in there. I don't want a whole chest full, but it doesn't go very far. And then if I give you power like that. Yeah, now we're making landfill. That'll take a long time, but that'll be handy to, like I say, along the edge of this water. You can put landfill in there, and then the mining drills will be able to fit, where the landfill is, and you'll be able to mine those resources. So I'll do that, and I'll extend the radar coverage out there. I'll do that off camera, and I'll show you next time about that coal, because I am getting really low. And then once I get the tank, I can clear these biters out, and that'll be kind of convenient if I bring a rail line. Ooh, I got to think about this rail line. I don't want to interfere with the factory. The factory's going to end right about here. Yeah, so that'll be fine. I can bring a rail line like right through there and load up coal from this mine and then load up coal from that mine. Once I get the tank, I can clear those biters out. And then it's probably, I know you can't run the train through the factory, obviously. Well, you could, but that'd be rather dangerous. Then I'll want to go up here with the rail and then hook into the rail over there, I think. So that's what I'll do. Work on that off camera. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click on that thumbs up. I'll go up here and take one more last look at the chemical science build, in case you want another look at that. Now, I forgot to tell you. So my blueprints that I have posted on my website, professorplays.com, I have this blueprint, but it's smaller than this. It looks like this. Oh, kitty cat, that's my shoulder. You got your hooks in there, buddy. Ow, 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 ow. Looks like that. And so, again, these machines are, they don't have a crafting speed of 1. They have a crafting speed of 0.75. So when I built it in this playthrough, I made it a little bit bigger, just so I could get closer to the 1 per second science packs. So that's what I've been up to. Again, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.